there's lots of things we can do to continue to improve that experience and make sure it's a great experience.
I often tell my colleague, Mr. Buscaino, that I wish that my airport had the kind of relationship with my district that his port has with his. Mm-hmm. I think that the port really has, over the past decade, become a much, much better neighbor. They have an easier time with it because it's easier. The Tidelands restrictions aren't nearly as tight and annoying as the FAA restrictions on how to spend money, but I think Lawa is, over the years, becoming a better neighbor. I think the North Side Plan is a really big deal. Mm-hmm. What else can we be doing to make the airport a better neighbor?
Well, I think it's engagement with the community, and not in real engagement, not going through the motions, but actually pulling the community into the discussions about how to make Thor better. And I think the North Side Plan that you bring up was a great example of that. I was very surprised. I'd spent 5 years on the City Planning Commission and was on the West LA Area Planning Commission before that, and had a lot of chance to engage with communities. And in the North Side development, you had a plan that came before the commission that had millions of square feet of development, and you had the community members out there saying, this is terrific, this is great, this is exactly what we need. And the reason they were so positive was they had been in the process from day one in a real way. So I think that is the cornerstone, the foundation of what we need to continue to do as an airport. And we, by the way, as we're interviewing these potential general managers, we're driving that point home from day one. That's a critical part of this job.
That's very good to hear. You were just in, well, let me preface it this way. We have a lot of expensive projects coming down the pike, and the people mover is going to be a very expensive and, as you noted, complicated one. I know you and Gina Marie were recently in D.C. trying to pressure the feds to help us increase the passenger facility charge, which would help us pay for that. How do you feel those conversations are looking?
I think there was a good start. We spent a lot of time at the Department of Transportation talking about Tiger grants and TIFIA loans. Yeah. We also spent a lot of time on Capitol Hill talking about the PFCs, the passenger facility charges. These haven't been raised in 15 years, and it's a critical device for local airports to be able to charge local user fees that are appropriate in order to build improvements and build infrastructure. So I think we're at the beginning of that process, and we're going to need help from obviously the mayor and the council as we deal with Capitol Hill. But I think everybody we've met with appreciates that we're finally investing in Los Angeles airports and LAX in a real way, and they want to be helpful with that.
Okay, that's good to hear. I wanted to ask about the terrorist incident a year and a half ago. You and I were both there, and I think everybody was very happy with the first responder performance that day. But as you know, I had serious concerns about sort of the lack of a whole of community approach. And I know there's been a number of recommendations to dramatically improve that. I wonder if you could just give us an update about where we are on that.
Sure. Well, after that terrible incident, we commissioned an after-action report and improvement plan because we knew our first responders done an amazing job, and it's 4 minutes and 8 seconds from the time of the shooting to the time our first responders were on the scene and actually took down the suspect. It was amazing. But there was a lot of other things that could have gone better that day, and we wanted to learn from that. So we commissioned a report. Took about 3 months, and we came up with 88 specific recommendations of things we could do to improve. Everything from PA systems and panic buttons to training the people, not just the first responders, but training the people pushing the wheelchairs and the gate agents about what to do in an emergency, because they're often the ones interacting with the public. And every quarter we get a report on those 88 recommendations. We've maybe implemented 40 or so now, and a number of the other ones are ongoing. But that's really our first job at LAX and the other airports is safety and security, and we're very, very focused on that.
Have we gotten it filtered down so that folks who work at a Starbucks or a Hudson News have some training at all in what they should be doing in the case of an emergency or an evacuation? Yeah,
we haven't trained. We have 44,000 people every day who come on the airport, only about 3,400 of which work for LAX. But there's a series of trainings and drills that we're doing, starting really with most incidents are going to happen outside of security. So really you start with training those people and then move inward after that point. So there is a robust training program, and again, we get a report every quarter on how we continue to do that.
Could you ask the staff to copy me on those quarterly reports? I'd like to see those.
Sure, absolutely.
That'd be very good. Final question. Now that you've been there a couple of years, what do you know that you didn't know then when you first started?
What do I what? I'm sorry?
What do you know now that you didn't know when you started?
That's a tough question. The sheer breadth and complexity of the operations of the airport on a daily basis. We focus on the land side development and the north side development and some of these other issues, but 1,800 planes taking off and landing every day, up to 200,000 people a day coming through the airport. The complexity of running all that while running the construction and dealing with safety and security and everything else is staggering. So that's been one of the most surprising things to me since I started.
Okay, good answer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Mr. Buscaino.
Thank you, Commissioner Burton, for agreeing to take on another term and leading Lawa. Really appreciate your dedication and service to our airport.
Thank you.
I think you rate your performance and your success on the number of 245 motions that come through the desk. And Mr. Bond, I think since taking over, how many have we had?
I've got several ready for today, actually.
And we haven't seen any, and that just shows is just symbolic of the relationship you have not only with Mr. Bonin but with all city departments and the mayor's office as well.
Right.
I had an opportunity, as you know, being a part of the mayor's trade delegation to Asia, and we were able to form a stronger relationship and talk about airports around the world and to hear your incredible passion and dedication to serve and in trying to up our level, our playing field as it relates to improving the services at the airport. I mean, obviously, you're all in, and we appreciate that. I want to really, as Mr. Bonin talks about how the port has a great working relationship with the community, I actually value the amount, the commitment the airport has on the improvements of the infrastructure and the retail space. I just wish that my port would value the
Maybe
retail.
that's why your port is such a good neighbor.
The retail and dining and entertainment on. I mean, it's kind of.
Have you heard about the Waterfront development plan at LAX?
No, not yet.
That.
No, you are close to the water. But to know, like Terminal 1, $508 million, it was like pulling teeth to get $50 million off our waterfront redevelopment. But it goes to show, again, your commitment, you and your colleagues' commitment to improving the airport and making it a world-class airport. Let me ask you one question I had. I know we talk about leadership change with the announcement of Gina Marie Lindsay moving on. What do you expect out of our next airport director? What are the qualifications, and what do you as far as moving forward and making that selection?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's a hard spot to fill because it's such a big job, right? I mean, you're really running a city, 71 million people coming through a year. Well, it's a number of things. One, it's someone who knows how to manage an enterprise. I mean, LAX is a business. Lawa is a business. We have an operating budget that's very important to adhere to. It is run for the public trust. It's not run to make profit, but it is a business, and with thousands of contracts and hundreds of customers in addition to all of your passengers. So it's someone who knows how to run an enterprise. Secondly, it's someone who's a good manager. We do have these, between 3,400 and 3,700 employees at any given time at Lawa, all the report up to the general manager, and then you have the other 40,000 or so employees who every day come on the airport. So it's someone who knows how to manage a team. And then thirdly, it's someone who can oversee this incredibly ambitious, important capital improvement and development project. So those are the kind of core jobs or skills. And then underneath all of that and underlying all that is someone who is going to work with the community, is going to be open to the community, who's going to work with the council and the mayor's office and other agencies. Because if you don't have those skills to work with others, you won't be successful in this job. So it's finding someone with all of those skills and talents and experience is a challenge, but we're on the right path. We have we've hired a great search firm, and the head of that practice internationally is actually personally heading this search for us, and we're talking to the best candidates in the country who see LAX and Lawa and running the Lawa system as a plum job. I mean, this is to live in Los Angeles and be part of this huge improvement and making LAX and and the other airports world-class, that's a great opportunity.
And I just want to talk about the North One-Way. I mean, I don't want to leave this discussion with the status of it. The council over 2 years ago talked about the North Runway and approved it. What's the pulse of the commission today? Where are we at with it?
Yeah, we've really been focused, and we talked a little bit about this during the confirmation 2 years ago. I mean, we've really been focused on what are the things that we agree on, between the council and the mayor's office, the community, and the board, and how can we focus on that? And so, we've been focused on the north side development, on improving the passenger experience, on this landside development plan, and we continue to study the north runway and look at all the alternatives for today. But that's the current status.
Very good.
And that's a wise strategy because an unbiased, nonpartisan panel of folks, including even the Chamber, commissioned a study which found that there is absolutely no safety reason to move the north runway.
Well, hey, I want to thank Teresa, your wife, and your kids for allowing you to serve as well, because I know oftentimes in talking to you and texting, I know you're just so busy, and just want to thank your family for allowing you to serve our city specifically, and just this incredible role as the commission, the president of the commission as well. So thank your family for allowing you to serve as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you, and I just wanted to close on a couple of things that's brought up. On the security issue, I always felt that the baggage area is the most vulnerable area, because it doesn't matter if you're inside in the checked-in area, Dateline Los Angeles, problem, So focus on the baggage area, because you could Uber into the airport and walk in with a bad bag and do a bad thing, and I hope no one's listening to this who's a bad guy.
Sure.
So, and the other thing I did say that the fire department, which you may be aware of, has the community emergency response team focused mostly on earthquake. When Mr. Bonin spoke about Starbucks and Hudson News and the others, maybe that's something, and I think Chief Gannon, and I don't know the fire chief because they work by segment, and I don't know if it's the South Bureau for fire, but whoever it is, but they should, maybe you need to create kind of a CERT complex for those employees, which would be training. Do you have that? Yeah. So maybe I'm just thinking off your thought.
No, you're right.
And lastly, the other thing too, and this is I see the Port of Los Angeles did a wonderful job with the red car in Wilmington, where they run the red car. And I've often know the one place where everyone in the city unanimously wants to go is to the beach. And I don't know what my future holds, but one of the little projects I would love to work on one day is restoring red cars. So west of Sepulveda, down West Imperial, where Mr. Vero goes to plant 1 million trees, but they were all not in any uniform manner. Maybe down the center island is a red car, as you see at the port. It all had to be worked out, but it's an idea I just wanted to lay on the table. And lastly, much impressive resume that you have, Mr. Burton. I just want to know for the fact, did Al Gore invent the Internet?
No comment.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
All right.
When is this in council?
Next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and in the future, it's okay with me if we have these commissioners come, they go the same day to council if it works out for the clerk, because it makes it easier. Thanks, Mr. Burton.
Thank you very much.
All right, see you. Next item.
Item number 2, Administrative Exemption and Board of Airport Commissioners Report relative to the proposed 10th Amendment to the contract with K. Scholler LLP for legal services to assist Lawa and the City Attorney concerning advisory and litigation counsel services for federal regulatory law and related matters.
Mr. CAO.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Bill Kreitz with the CAO's office. We've reviewed and discussed this proposed 10th Amendment with the department that would add an additional $5.4 million for legal services by K. Scholler. And we recommend approval for the following reasons. Number one, K. Scholler is involved in helping the department and the city defend against the City of Ontario litigation and ownership and management issues of the L.A. Ontario International Airport. They're also assisting the department with FAA compliance issues that are critical to the airport, and they're providing needed continuity by being retained and representing them in this of these cases and other related cases. So for those reasons, we recommend approval of this 10th Amendment.
Move approval.
Good. Move approval. Thank you very much. Would you like to say anything on behalf of?
John Tavidan, City Attorney's Office, no.
Good. That's John Chapman, City Attorney's Office. No, 6 words. That's the shortest speech ever made by a city attorney. Good job, John.
Thank you.
Moved approval.
Wait, I got a question.
Okay. Oh, quick question.
So,
Sorry.
I was
Pull back.
over saying goodbye to Mr. Burton. This is our Ontario legal fees?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this is the 10th Amendment, right?
That's correct.
And we just did the 9th Amendment about 6 months ago. And this one is quite big. Do we see an end in sight on this one?
The schedule on the City of Ontario litigation is the second motion for summary adjudication is scheduled for now April 23. The trial is August 17, so there is an end in sight.
I know we're in open session, so there's not much you can say, but is there anything at all you can tell us by way of an update on this litigation?
That is the update, I think, that I can say.
Good answer.
All right. I'm a man of few words. That's okay.
Thank you. Okay. We moved approval. Move forward. Thank you. The next items are all trade zones. You could take them all together, and I have fine representatives of the port. Are you on the trade zone, or are we on one more?
Yes, we're still on the.
One more.
Very good.
Yes.
3.
Item number 3.
Let's hear 3.
Item number 3, Administrative Exemption and Board of Airport Commissioners report relative to the proposed Fifth Amendment to the contract with Anderson and Krieger LLP for legal services to assist Lawa and the city attorney.
Mr. Chairman, Bill Kreitz with the CAO's office. We've reviewed this as well, and we've discussed this with the department. This Fifth Amendment, we're recommending approval as well for Anderson and Krieger for similar reasons as with K. Scholler. They, in addition to LA Ontario Airport and the litigation issue, they're also handling airport revenue and diversion issues and FAA compliance issues, and also a lawsuit brought by a consortium at LAX and associated contract service providers. So they're assisting with that as well, and aeronautical noise related issues. So for those reasons, we recommend approval of this amendment as well.
Thank you. Mr. Bonnet?
I'm fine.
Buscaino, we're fine?
Move approval.
So ordered. Thank you. Okay. And next item.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Koenig? Mr. Koenig here? Yeah, could you come to the table just for a quick moment before here? Is this an item here? Is this your last meeting?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm giving you an opportunity for public comment right now if you want to say anything.
Yes, I've been with the city for 44 and a half years.
Wow.
It's been very interesting.
Yeah.
I call it a roller coaster. It's been up and down,
Yeah.
but that's called life.
Good.
It's been very interesting in dealing with the council members, mayor staff, and the city employees, who I think really give a damn about this city,
Right.
and that's really all I care about. But thank you for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you.
Well, thank you, Bill, and appreciate it. With those who've gone before us, meaning they're not living anymore, name your favorite council people or mayors, just out of...
John Ferraro.
John, okay, got it. I knew
Ferraro.
that. Okay, good.
And then actually, the person I respect the most is Erwin Piper.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I
he
was
was,
fortunate to work for him
right,
at the very end of his term with the city.
yeah,
A true gentleman. You would
Right.
walk through hell for him.
right, exactly. It's special.
You can tell he's a short timer. Otherwise, he would have said Labange, Buscaino, and
Oh.
Bonnet.
Hey,
I will say, 2 or 3 meetings ago, he told me it was his last meeting, so I fully expect to see him back next time.
yeah.
I had actually intended to retire earlier, but there was an issue pending with the city attorney that I wanted to finish before
Good.
I left. Unfortunately, they didn't agree with my idea, but
Yeah.
at least I tried.
Well, that's okay, but you've been dedicated. That's the wonderful thing about city employees, dedicated public service.
And I've been fortunate in that my daughter works for the police department in legal affairs. She's on a maternity leave right now. Our first grandchild was born Christmas Eve.
Oh, good.
And then her husband was just appointed to the fire department effective Monday as
Wow.
a fire protection engineering associate. He's a mechanical engineer.
That's great.
So it's going to continue with the family.
Yeah, good.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you, William.
Thank you very much. I
All right,
appreciate
Bill.
it.
Thank you very much. Back to the
Do you want to hear all the foreign trade?
Yeah,
agreements?
why not?
Items 4, 5, and 6 are foreign trade zone agreements between Harbor and particular organizations.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Masa Morimoto, Assistant Director of Marketing and also overseeing FTZ program at the Port of Los Angeles. We have 4 FTZ items today. I have one correction on item 4, company name, Carson Dominguez Property, that the spelling Q is supposed to be G, so Carson Dominguez Properties. Those 3 FTZ agreement, they are seeking for 5 years extensions, and the original agreement is term of agreement is 5 years and 3 5 years extensions. They are seeking for the first term extension 5 years until April 30th, 2020.
Very good. And we got clearance.
Alvin Newman, CAO's office. We concur with the assessment by the department, and we recommend approval for all 3.
Thank you. And I want to note this great map and brochure that you produced, which is exactly what the committee was asking for, that shows the impact of the zone, not just in Los Angeles, but throughout the region. And I would ask is maybe if you could send that, as requested by the mayor and the city council, mail this out to every chamber in the SCAG area. The SCAG area is all the counties, Riverside, San Bernardino, Imperial, Orange, Los Angeles, and Ventura.
Yes, I will send all those brochures to the all city involved in FTZA.
Yeah, but even the ones that are not, so they could share them, and you could just tell them on behalf of the mayor, generic, and the city council, generic. That'd
Shall
be a
we
good
do
way.
that?
Super. Any questions?
Thanks for,
Yeah.
actually, I think this map was generated by the request of Mr. Labange, and thanks for being responsive. And this is a great tool, a great instrument to use to not only celebrate the number of FTZs around the county and the Southern California area, but to show the impacts, the economic impacts our port has across the region.
Well, thank you. But Massey, here's one of the great, as Mr. Honig, Bill said, there's city employees who do special things all over. You're one of them. All of you who are working here, except the fellow over there reading the brochure, he should be smiling a little more. And he should improve. Yeah, David Roberts, you got it. Good job. There's the smile. Okay, good, David. You're in the record today that you were here. This is good. Let the word go out. Los Angeles is open for business. Tell the
governor.
no, Florida, go back and crush some oranges. Okay. So.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no, the Florida man was here.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida. Rick wasn't here yesterday. The Florida governor was here.
got oranges on the
That's
cover.
all right. I know. We'll send it to him. Have a great day, everybody. We've completed this meeting. Serve the city well. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.